What if I told you that most people spend their entire lives chasing money without ever understanding how money actually works? Sounds crazy, right? We're taught math in school. We're taught history, science, and literature. But the one thing that affects almost every decision we make as adults is rarely explained in a practical way. So we grow up believing a simple formula: study hard, get a good job, work harder than everyone else, save money, and eventually everything will work out. But here's the problem. Millions of hardworking people follow that exact formula, and many of them still struggle financially. Meanwhile, other people seem to build wealth faster every single year. So what's the difference? The answer is surprisingly simple. Most people learn how to earn money. Very few people learn how money itself actually works. And once you understand that difference, your entire perspective changes. The first thing nobody tells you is that money is not wealth. Money is a tool. That's it. Real wealth is ownership. Think about it for a moment. If someone gives you $1 million today, but you spend all of it within a year, are you wealthy? Probably not. But if someone owns businesses, investments, or assets that continuously generate income, they're creating wealth even when they're not actively working. That changes everything, because suddenly the goal isn't just making more money. The goal becomes owning things that make money for you. And that's where most people get stuck. We've been conditioned to believe that income solves every financial problem. Need more money? Get a raise. Work overtime, find another job. Take on more responsibility. But income has a limit. Time doesn't. Actually, time is the one thing you can never get back. There are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how talented, ambitious, or hardworking you are, your earning potential becomes tied to your available time. The wealthy understood this long ago. That's why they focus on leverage. Leverage simply means creating results that are bigger than your personal effort. A business uses employees. An investment portfolio uses capital. Technology allows one person to reach millions of people. Books, digital products, software, and intellectual property continue creating value long after they're built. And that's the first major secret about money. The people who build wealth aren't always working harder. They're building systems that work harder. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Most people think saving money is the ultimate financial strategy. And to be fair, saving money is important. Having an emergency fund matters. Living below your means matters. Being financially responsible absolutely matters. But saving alone was never designed to make people wealthy. Because there's a silent force working against every dollar you keep under your mattress. It's called inflation, and most people underestimate how powerful it really is. Inflation means that over time, money buys less than it used to. The same groceries that cost $50 years ago now cost significantly more. The same house your grandparents bought for a modest amount would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars today. The numbers change. The purchasing power changes. And that means money sitting still slowly loses value over long periods of time. This is why wealthy people don't simply store money. They deploy it. They look for productive assets. Businesses, stocks, real estate. Things that have the potential to grow alongside the economy rather than falling behind it. Of course, every investment involves risks, and nothing is guaranteed. But understanding this principle changes the entire game. Because suddenly, money stops being something you protect at all costs. Instead, it becomes something you strategically position for long-term growth. And that leads to another concept that almost nobody talks about: cash flow. Most people think rich means having a massive amount of money sitting in a bank account. But real financial security often comes from something far more powerful. Consistent cash flow. Imagine two people. The first person earns $1 million a year. But if they stop working tomorrow, the money stops coming in immediately. The second person earns far less personally, but owns assets that continue generating income month after month. Who has more freedom? Who has more security? Who sleeps better at night? The answer isn't always obvious. Because wealth isn't just about how much money comes in. It's about how dependent that money is on your personal effort. And that's why financially successful people focus on building multiple streams of income over time. Not because they're greedy, not because they're obsessed with becoming rich, but because diversification creates stability. If one source disappears, others remain. And stability creates freedom. But perhaps the biggest misunderstanding about money involves something even deeper: human psychology. Money decisions are rarely logical. They're emotional. People buy things to impress strangers. They increase their lifestyle every time their income increases. They confuse looking wealthy with actually being wealthy. And that's where many financial problems begin. Because appearances can be incredibly misleading. The person driving an expensive car might be drowning in debt. The person living modestly might own businesses worth millions. Real wealth is often invisible. It doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always seek attention. Instead, it quietly creates options. The option to spend more time with family. The option to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. The option to take risks, pursue passions, and make decisions without constant financial fear. And maybe that's what money was supposed to do all along. Not buy status, not win competitions, but create freedom. The freedom to choose how you spend your time. Because at the end of the day, time is the most valuable asset any human being possesses. And money, when used correctly, simply gives you more control over it. But here's something that might surprise you even more. Building wealth is usually boring. Social media loves dramatic success stories. Overnight millionaires, viral businesses, massive investment gains. But real wealth creation often looks incredibly ordinary. It's consistency, patience, long-term thinking, making smart decisions repeatedly for years, sometimes decades. The magic isn't in doing one extraordinary thing. The magic is in doing ordinary things extraordinarily well for a very long time. And that's why compounding is considered one of the most powerful forces in finance. Small improvements, repeated consistently, create massive outcomes. The same applies to money. The same applies to skills. The same applies to relationships and businesses. Everything compounds. The challenge is that human beings naturally want immediate results. We want rewards today. We want success tomorrow. We want proof that our efforts are working right now. But money plays a completely different game. It rewards patience. It rewards discipline. And it rewards people who understand that the biggest victories happen slowly, then all at once. So, how does money actually work? It works through ownership. It works through leverage. It works through cash flow. It works through patience. And most importantly, it works through understanding systems rather than simply working harder inside them. Because the people who win financially aren't always the smartest people in the room. They aren't always the hardest workers either. They're usually the people who understand the rules that most of us were never taught. And once you learn those rules, you stop chasing money. You start making money work for you. And that changes everything. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the Money Matrix for more insights on wealth, investing, and the psychology of money. And remember, the goal isn't just to earn more. It's to understand the game that most people never learn.